So this is what you were promised? I bet you're not getting it. Have you ever wondered why? Watch Real Life Tesla and we'll show you so that you can say, may the odds be ever in your favor. When we ordered our Tesla, we ordered a dual motor, all-wheel drive, long-range Model 3. It came with an estimated expected range of 322 miles. That is what it stated. That is what I expected to get. So 90% for me is 288 miles, and this is the closest picture I could go back and find at 285. But every morning when I would go down to my car, I would have 288 miles of charge, and it was pretty consistent. Didn't seem to alter much from day to day, and I was excited it was working well. I would never drive more than 288 miles in a day, and that was sufficient for me. Then one day on a trip, I decided to charge it to 100%. It took it up to 320 miles, and versus the 322, 2 miles, I could live with that, and it didn't bother me. And I realized later on, the next time I went to charge, what a mistake I made. All of a sudden, I lost my 288 miles at a charge of 90%, and it dropped it down into the 270s. And I was quite shocked. I didn't realize that running the battery up to 100% could do such damage to my charging. I wanted to see what it had done to my overall charge, so I charged it up to 100%. Instead of the 320 that I had gotten the last time, it had gone down to 310 miles on a full charge. I knew I was in trouble. Then I came across a YouTuber who was talking on this subject, and he explained that if you ran your battery down to below 20% and then charged to 90%, that you would gain some of your mileage back over doing this multiple times. And so I was game and I did it, and the first time I came back and it went up to 282 miles, and how excited was I. However, the next time I did it, it was only at 278. I thought I had done something wrong, so I tried it multiple times. One time I even drove it down to 1 mile left, but that wasn't on purpose. That was an accident. And I still got the same 281, 279, 282 results. And so I'm going to have to say that this was a busted myth, and that running it down will not necessarily gain you the mileage back. So how do you keep from doing it in the first place? Let me show you how. So to prove my point, I'm going to use the website A Better Route Planner to demonstrate the parameters of an average trip. So I put in from St. Louis to Chicago, starting with a charge of 90%. You get to put in the parameters of your car. So I put in a Tesla Model 3 dual motor, all-wheel drive, long range with the 18-inch aero wheels. Starting at a charge of 90%, it calculates it will take me 5 hours and 1 minute to make the trip with one charge of 14 minutes. Now this will get me to Navy Pier with 10% left on my battery. Navy Pier is a great place if you're ever in Chicago and you want something to do. Now I'm going to change my parameters to 100%, and let's see what happens. So you click on the settings button next to your departure, and you change your status of charge to 100%. Click Done, and it will recalculate how long it will take if your battery starts at 100%. So now it's recalculated with a charge of 100% on the battery when I start. And this will really only affect your first charge, because after your first charge, you'll be in the system and running along if you're going through multiple chargers on a longer trip. But if you notice here, it knocked down 4 minutes off of my trip. Now, is that really 3 minutes and 59 seconds, or is it a full 4 minutes? Who knows? But here's the thing, you still have one charge, and it's 4 minutes shorter than your previous charge. And if you're stopping at that supercharger and you go in to get lunch and to go to the bathroom, you're going to be in more than 10 minutes. You'll probably be in there maybe 15 minutes. So that charge time is really irrelevant because you're going to be there longer than 10 minutes. And you still get to Navy Pier with 10% left on your charge. So charging your battery up to 100% in the beginning didn't really save you any time in your trip in the overall scheme of things to get to Chicago. And this is a 300-mile trip. 5 hours is a pretty good long trip to justify. If you're making a longer trip, you'll have more stops, and it'll all wash out in the end. So hopefully you can kind of see here that charging your battery to 100% doesn't make sense to experience the loss of mileage in your day-to-day charge. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.